If you had a delusional level of self-confidence, like genuinely believe that you couldn't fail, what would you be doing right now? Would you be maybe talking to that crush of yours that you're scared to talk to? Or maybe you would move to that new place that you've been wanting to move to. Or maybe you would even start that business that you've been procrastinating about. You see, you don't even try these things because you think you'll fail. You think that things won't work out. And the only thing stopping you from the life that you want is you and your lack of confidence. You see, confidence is a choice. We're not our thoughts. We are the mediators. We are the observer of our thoughts. And you learn this through meditation, that we attach meaning and we attach feelings to all of our thoughts. You see, beliefs are just thoughts with emotions that we've attached to them ourselves. We are in control of that meaning for everything, good or bad. Everything good or bad is because we told ourselves that it's good or bad. So we have the authority to decide. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Your favorite food might be steak, but to another person, they hate steak. That's their least favorite food. Your greatest fear, the thing that causes you the most anxiety, might to another person be their weekend hobby that they love doing and it relaxes them. You know those like weird fucking people that like crawl through the caves, like those really tight like caves that like they barely fit through and like you have to like literally breathe in, and like those fucking weird people, that is like my biggest nightmare. But to them, they love that shit. Same as those rock climbers, like the people that climb massive mountains without any safety gear. That's like the biggest fear for most people, myself included. But to them, that's fucking fun to them, you know, that relaxes them, that makes them feel good. So reality is subjective and everyone's experience is different. And our beliefs become our reality. And this is where the placebo effect comes in. You see, when drug companies want to release a new drug, they have to do studies. And in these studies, they usually have 3 or more groups. They'll usually have one group that is the controlled group. That group doesn't take the drug. And then they have the placebo group. And in the placebo group, they just give this group of people a sugar pill. But they tell them, we're gonna give, this is the drug, but it's really not. And then the third group is the group of people that obviously are taking the drug. And what they find is that, let's say that 60% of the people that actually took the real drug saw improvements. And then the percent of people that didn't take the drug, they saw no improvements, obviously. And then let's say the placebo group, the sugar pill group, they were told they were given the drug, but in reality it was just a sugar pill. Let's say 20% of them got better. So we got 20% of them saw improvements with this sugar pill drug because of the placebo, and 60% saw improvements because they took the actual drug. What these drug companies are allowed to do is now combine these percentages, the 60 and the 20, and say that 80% of people that took this drug saw benefits. This drug was 80% effective. And that just shows the power of our thoughts and our beliefs, the power of the placebo effect. It could literally heal us. So how do we use this placebo effect to gain massive amounts of delusional self-confidence? And we do this through anchors and associations. So what this means is you pick an anchor. This could be like an object. Like my anchor is this cross that you see around my neck. And then I associate this anchor with, let's say, a belief. So this is my anchor. My anchor is, I believe every time I grasp this cross around my neck, I associate the feeling of confidence, extreme confidence, and fear leaving my body. And I also associate this with infinite energy. So you might think I'm fucking stupid, that this is retarded, and what am I saying? But recently, as an example, I've been getting into like heavy forms of cardio, trying to like cut down body weight. So I fucking hate cardio. I hate doing cardio. Every time I do cardio, my throat hurts. I'm gasping for air. It's super uncomfortable. I usually just like going to the gym and lifting weights and that's it. But I realize I need to do cardio if I want to really fast track my progress. So what I've been associating this anchor point is this gives me energy. So when I'm on the treadmill or I'm on a run and I feel tired, I feel out of energy, what I do is I close my eyes for a second and I grasp this cross. And every time I do that, because I've associated this as my anchor point, and the association is energy or confidence, I have like two meanings for this. Every time I grab this, for some fucking reason, I have the feeling of increased energy. I automatically feel like I could run longer, like I could do more, and that I'm not tired. And this is all because of I just have this delusional belief that this thing around my neck, this cross, when I grasp it, it allows me to tap into this resource that is not even real, but to me it is real. So imagine just like competing with me, that I have this thing around my neck and I delusionally believe that this thing gives me some sort of, positive outcome, positive benefit, and you don't have that. So to me, this is reality. To you, you might think it's stupid, but that's a weird way that we could delusionally convince ourselves that we are in control, that these things, we could choose what we choose to believe. So you're fine with choosing thoughts and beliefs that don't serve you. Like you probably think that you're not confident. You probably think that you're not good enough. That you're operating in a state of lack and all these things. You allow yourself to think these negative things that don't serve you, but you think this being delusional, something that serves me, is ridiculous. So we could really choose like what we want to believe, and I just choose to believe in things that will serve me and the purpose that I want to serve. So you basically build this delusional confidence through anchors, through associations. So like you could pick an object, like this is my object. You could be like, every time that I spray the certain cologne, that this gives me increased confidence. And if you keep believing that, then eventually that will become true. It could be that you pick a doorway. Every time I walk into this certain environment, this doorway, once I walk through the doorway, it's actually a real like psychology effect, the doorway effect. You could look into it. You could use that as an anchor, that every time you walk into this sort of room, it could be like a classroom, it could be the gym, it could be the nightclub, whatever, that every time you walk through that doorway that you have a certain benefit, like increased confidence or increased energy or whatever it is that you want. So you could really use anything. You could use the cologne, you could use an object, you could use a doorway, anything like that. So that could be your anchor. Another way is just through affirmations. So just delusional, like when you tell yourself something over and over, that you're confident, whatever, your conscious mind, your subconscious, it's gonna know that you're lying to it. But after a certain point, the mind has to adapt. It's programmed to actually see reality the way that we believe it. It's programmed to be aligned. So when you keep telling yourself these things, it's going to think you're lying to it. It's going to know you're lying to it. But after a certain point, it's going to start to crack. That glass is going to start to crack, and you'll eventually get to a point where you're going to start seeing and believing that more and more, and it's going to show up in your life. So the anchors, the affirmations, visualization is a good one too. You could literally visualize yourself as the most confident version of yourself and tap into that. Visualize yourself doing certain traits or having certain characteristics, and that will become true, because your mind doesn't really know what's truth, and reality is not real. It's all subjective, and we get to choose what's real. So if your mind can't even tell the difference between something imagined and something that's actually real. So if you just imagine yourself that you have, confidence, if you imagine yourself, like, close your eyes and imagine the most confident version of yourself, well, you're gaining experience in your mind. Your mind doesn't know that's not real, and that's going to help you carry that confidence into the real world. So at first it's going to be fake, but over time you're going to start believing these things. You're going to start deluding yourself to these things, and they're going to show up as real. So you just have to be patient with these things. You have to keep reinforcing these things into your life and affirming that these beliefs are true, that this is reality, and then it becomes reality. So that's how you build delusional confidence. That's how you get what you want out of life. This is the cheat code. This is the cheat code, man. So that pretty much wraps it up. If you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you have any questions, just drop it in the comments. Let me know how this fucking works. If you want to work with me, if you need help with your confidence, getting what you want out of life, and you have limiting beliefs that are holding you back, and you have a lot of fear and worry, I can help you with that. Link in the description, book a call, we'll talk, see how I can help. Take care, boys.